Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Reddit series video from the subreddit HFY called A Billy Bob Halloween. Written by Regal Legal. The link to the original will be down below, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Billy Bob had his feet up on the dash, leaning back in the passenger chair as he waited. Come on, how long is this gonna take? You're the one who wanted to make this a surprise. If you need help, just ask. I got it, he heard Emily insist. I did lots of research for this holiday in costume. It's really no fun if it isn't a surprise. Billy Bob thought it over for a minute. And what sort of costume did you go for? 'Cause girls seem to have two competing theories. He was trying to think about what sort of skimpy costume a bird might pick before he could reply. Something scary. Came her reply, which prompted a disappointment expression on his face for a moment. Either way, he couldn't stop rubbing his hands over his freshly shaven face. It felt weird to lose his beard, but he had to make sure that he looked just right for the costume, which he had spent almost no time on at all. That had hardly mattered because he was positive that it was an awesome costume. So, are you excited about going trunk-or-treating? He asked as he kept an eye on the time. Parents should be out with their kids still, and they had an hour or two before the change over from trick-or-treating to drunk-or-treating. I'm still confused by this. I thought the process was to be tricked and treated, she asked from the bathroom as he heard a soft thud and looked back at the door as he heard a soft grumble of something indistinct. Trick-or-treating, and that's for kids. We're adults, and we can just go buy candy wherever we want, and in bulk, and sometimes even space candy. No, what we'll be doing is drunk-or-treating. Adults dress up and then go door to door to get mini bottles of booze, or sometimes full mixed drinks of nicer houses. And you do this, why, again? She asked, seeming a little confused. I mean, booze gets you drunk, and I know you've been drunk before. Billy Bob replied, confused by her confusion. I know that, she stressed. I mean, what's the point? The point of what? Getting drunk? That is the point. Getting drunk is for the sake of getting drunk, and usually partying is having fun, and sometimes making poor decisions and waking up with a hell of a hangover. He didn't seem to grasp what she was asking. Billy Bob, I mean, why is the holiday celebrated by dressing up in a fashion and going around? Dressing up and doing door to door, 'cause that's what Halloween is about. Making awesome costumes and showing them off and having fun and getting drunk. It's a celebration of being able to say frick the rules and be what you want if you only for one night. Like when your teacher asks you what you want to be when you grow up, and you say raptor, and they're all like, you can't be that, and I'm all like, I'm totally gonna be a raptor, just you wait and see. At the end of all that, he finally had to stop and take a deep breath as he'd been running out of air. That's cute. You wanted to be a bird when you were little, Emily asked him from the bathroom, and he frowned for a moment. What? Well, not like... Well, technically, damn it! We're doing this again. I mean velociraptor, not flying raptor type bird. He huffed for a moment as he somehow got into the conversation with her once or twice a month it seemed. Okay, well, but why Halloween? For what now? He'd forgotten what they were talking about. For dressing up. What's the significance of the day that makes you dress up and be whatever you want to be? And get drunk? Like, historically, why did you guys start doing this? Oh, he finally got what she meant, and then he realized he had no idea. During our War of Independence, there was a night where a bunch of kids dressed up as royalty and demanded food from the redcoats. Confused by the total lack of social grace, the Brits gave them some food. To celebrate the surprise, the American parents dressed up as the redcoats and brought the beer. Everyone got so drunk that they forgot to fight the next day. And, in fact, most of the soldiers defected and became Americans. Really? Emily sounded surprised. No. He smiled as he heard her let out an annoyed squawk as she got when she did stuff like that. Why do I ask you anything? She exclaimed as he heard her move around in the bathroom. Maybe she was finally finished. 'Cause I'm amazing? He finally heard the door open and looked back. She stepped out and quickly went blank. Oh no. "What you think?" she asked, slowly turning around in black clothing, the scowls, the menacing appearance, the lightning bolts, the red armbands. "Emily, you can't dress up like that," Billy Bob exclaimed as he looked at the Libertonian in a very well-made SS uniform. He had one armband on each of her right arms, and she was a giant eagle, so it was kind of a little odd, but it was pretty obvious that what she was supposed to be. "Why not?" she asked, looking over at the SS costume. According to history, this was a uniform of the group of evil humans, yes? Very scary. Isn't there a custom of wearing scary costumes? Yeah, but it's a bit more than that, especially here in the Deep South. Emily looked confused when he said this. "I thought the city was north of the equator of this planet." "Yeah, but that does that." He nodded as he understood. "No, I mean, this is the nearest American colony that the gravity you're right in. It's called the Deep South. The capital city is New Orleans. And really, they only have New Mississippi to skew the statistics for the rest of the cities and make them look better. This is America. You take the bad with the good, and we're still better than those damn UHGers. Well, what's so bad about these guys? I mean, you have the children's show featuring a mass murderer who killed so many people that it affected your global climate." When Emily said that, Billy Bob had to pause and think. "We do? Then hit him." "Oh, you're counting the Khans, featuring Gangpa, Genghis, and a grandson Count Kublai Khan. Frick, the initials are KKK. How the hell does that crap get past the censors?" Billy Bob shook his head for a moment. "Yeah, okay, you kinda got me there. I'm not sure why there's a counting show about murderous Mongols, but the Nazis are different. They had this whole ideology about evil stuff, like only one kind of skin color and hair color is good, and a bunch of other stuff. Didn't I explain this to you before?" "Well, you mentioned them a bit when we were in the museum, but most of that's a blur since we had to fight our way out, and then I saved your life." Again, Emily counted, but Billy Bob rolled his eyes. "Well, they're total dicks. I'll have to explain it a bit better later, but you can't go dressed out like that. Halloween's scary costume or not, it is still totally inappropriate." "I'm sure it'll be fine," Emily said, as with a wave of one of her hands. She turned then to open up the hatch leading outside before Billy Bob could stop her. As soon as it was open, however, she heard someone in the distance shout, "Yeah! One power!" which was followed by another voice, "Racist bigot! I'm getting my shotgun!" Billy Bob rushed forward and slammed the button for the door, closed as it pulled Emily away. "See, Deep South, and before you ask, it's filled with both idiots who want to be like the Nazis and other reasonably angry folks who would want to kill those other people. But they'll all root for their favorite local sports team together. It's a human thing, so please, can we figure out a new costume for you?" Emily huffed a little, crossing her arms. "But I worked so hard on this, and you always told me about how Americans were super open-minded and totally loved bringing in new immigrants so they could also be Americans. What's this about white powder and racism?" Billy Bob stopped for a moment, "because some people are just stupid, but as a country we can't punish them simply for being stupid, no matter how much we want to. Instead, we have to protect them and try educate them, and hope that the next generation is less stupid. Plus, there is always going to be people who'd rather blame their own frick-ups on other people. So we, as Americans, have to put up with these people and move them into the Deep South and places like New Mississippi, where we pretend to forget all about them. Well, New Mississippi for the Deep South, and Boganland for the planet Crikey." "Still, I'm having trouble understanding humans," Emily muttered. "Yeah, we get that a lot," Billy Bob said with a shrug. "Now then, get back into your bell-bottoms and the red shirt that you still got. I'll take care of the rest of the costume." "Fine," she huffed out. Feathers ruffled a bit at her inability to wear what she wanted, but she retreated to the bathroom to change again. While she was doing that, he quickly found his American flag cape and widened his chain a bit so that it would fly over her head. Hit one of the American flag hats, and he grabbed one of his 1911s from his gun locker before grabbing an empty bottle of JD. Well, he opened it up and drank the last little bit. Okay. Now it was empty. "All right, so what are we doing?" Emily asked once she stepped out of the bathroom, back in the bell-bottom-like jeans her species wore. He smiled and handed her a gun and an empty whiskey bottle before sticking the hat on her head and fastening the clasp of the frayed cloak around her shoulders. "What am I supposed to be?" she asked, looking at a new costume. "You are an American eagle," he exclaimed with a smile. "All right, so you're ready to go with the drunkard treating now." "Wait, aren't you going to dress up?" she asked, looking for a moment. "I am dressed up." "No, you're not," she huffed. "That's just your blue jeans and armored assault vehicle top." Billy Bob arched an eyebrow for a moment and then shook his head. "Tank top. It's called a tank top. And it's not just any tank top." He waved his hands over the graphic in front. "For tonight, I'm not Billy Bob Space Trucker. I have become your old buddy Jack Burton Space Trucker." Undetermined amount of hours later, Billy Bob groaned heavily as he slowly opened his eyes and then groaned louder as the sunlight hurt his already throbbing head. It was like some aggressive Marines were liberating the crap out of his skull. What had he done last night? He tried to remember. He delicately untangled himself from the bush that he'd been sleeping in. They'd gone drunk-or-treating. Normally he didn't get this drunk. Oh, but that one house had a square booze. Crap. That had to be it. He slowly stood, shielding his eyes from the harsh sunlight as he looked around, unsure where the hell he was. And where was Emily? Then he heard faint sirens in the distance, and suddenly Emily ran past, clutching a pig in her arms. "Billy Bob, I've acquired breakfast by stealing this porcine creature. We must dairy product it. The fuzzy law enforcement is after us." Billy Bob was just about to ask what the hell was going on when he heard the shotgun blast and ducked reflexively. "Frickin' punk kids, you'll get back here with Dorothy. The prize-winning bacon belonged to me, and you're gonna pay for tipping over my cows. Also, an angry farmer is after us." Billy Bob turned and began to chase after Emily, ignoring the pain in his everywhere as he needed to avoid the ire of an angry farmer. Well, he'd have to piece together just what the hell had happened, but so far it seemed to him that Emily was a natural drunk-or-treater. I hope that you enjoyed. If you'd like to support the channel or the author, all the stuff is down below. And as always, I hope that you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next story. Cheers.